guys, let's listen to this together. Let's go.
I did not choose it. Every step of the way has been an authentic.
I did not put this anywhere. I didn't. Let me talk to the fucking team.
I did not call the cops. I think that most people.
IO called the
I did not
cops.
call the cops.
You told IO to call the cops.
I did not call the cops, and I did not give them any statement when they came. I've been trying to protect you.
You told IO to call the cops.
Oh, wow.
While it was happening?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because the last time that it got crazy between us, I really did think I was going to lose my life, and I thought you would do it on accident. And I told you that. I said, oh my God, I thought the first time.
Wow.
Amber, I lost a fucking finger, man. Come on.
Wow.
I had a fucking mineral can, a jar of can of mineral spirits thrown at my nose.
You can tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and
yes.
I know
Yeah.
it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
Wow.
It doesn't matter if it's for fair fight. My ass.
Wow.
Exactly, because you're.
Mr. Depp, when did you have the conversation?
I just finished here. Wow. Wow. Honestly, like, wow, that's crazy. So she asked somebody to call the cop on him. And again, if you notice, like, I really thought I was gonna lose my life and that you would do it by accident. To me, that phrase tells me a lot in the way that, again, manipulation, but at the same time also tells me that this guy is not violent. You know, like, she basically saying, like, I know you wouldn't, but in that case, I really felt that you might do it by accident, because she knows the character of Depp, Johnny Depp. She knows him well, to the point where she knows that this guy does not revert to violence. And even perhaps in this critical circumstances, this worst circumstance, she thought maybe by accident that would happen, you know? But not because you wanted to do it. Maybe they were both pissed, you know, drugs and alcohol, whatnot, getting on each other's nerves. What I've learned from this so far is that this relationship was toxic, absolutely toxic. It's like really when two people, they don't work well with each other, and maybe they work well on, they bound on drinking or whatever, you know, on some kind of humor or other aspect, but then it's not enough, and the more you know each other, then things start to unravel and they become more toxic. What I feel as a human being, like, I have no experience, of course. I've been surrounded in my early life, from early age, people abusing drugs, friends and family. So I'm not talking about just weed. I'm talking also about smoking heroin and stuff like that. So I can tell you that being rich definitely helps you staying in this addictive state more. But people stay in that even without money. It's brutal. But anyway, to see that this guy, even under drugs and alcohol, never reverted to violence, you know, it's quite indicative. This woman, she should have like 150 videos of this man being abusive, if he was really the way she's depicting him to be, you know. And again, this audio tells me, it's like, oh, even in this circumstance, probably that we were both pissed. I thought, you know, I was afraid because maybe something would happen by accident, not because you would actually do it, because she knows him. She knows that the guy is not violent. And again, if you know somebody violent, you usually don't taunt them, because people in those type of relationship, when they're abused, actually usually they diffuse the situation. The victim tries to diffuse the situation because you know that this could escalate into violence, you know. And even those can be highly toxic relationship, because a lot of time the victim herself tries to protect the abuser, finding good thing into the abuser, and forgiving the abuser, and so on and so forth. So even if from that angle here, it doesn't seem that to be the case. She's just manipulating this guy, and things became more and more toxic, and probably that's her way of trying to break up from a relationship, trying to destroy the other person, because facing yourself is always the hardest thing to do. And I guess in that period, Johnny, when he was going through realization that his managers were stealing money, there was this whole period, if I remember correctly, that was happening. Self-deprecating people that self-medicate, and they go through ton more of extra anxiety and stress and problems. And again, I've seen this directly, they will tend to go more inward and self-medicate even more with whatever they're using, whether they be like smoking weed every day, like every second of the waking hours, drinking alcohol, taking pills. They will self-medicate more. So yeah, I mean, the guy seems really like somebody that just went in deeper because of what he was going through, and then also the realization that this relationship was breaking up, wasn't working. You start to lose trust, and you both react in a sort of toxic way that you don't know how to manage this, make the clear decision. If this happened to me, I'll give you an example, if anywhere I'd recognized the narcissistic behavior of the other person, I would have ended it very quickly. So yeah, you wonder why Johnny kept going and tried to make it work. Sometimes you wonder, what is that? Maybe it's the ego of older men. Sometimes, you find a younger girl beautiful. You kind of want to try to make it work. Somehow, perhaps you think you don't know if you're going to get it again like that. But then beauty, you see, it's not everything. It's much more important what lies underneath to make a relationship work. Well, at least not only, So this very clear video telling you that she's aware of the power of being on the right side of things because of the momentum that those issues, the Me Too movement, has had, and the sensitivity surrounding it. So she knew that kind of privilege, that kind of advantage, and she just smeared it on his face. And he's like, hey, who's going to believe you? You're a man. Who do you think are going to believe, me or you? Wow. That's very clear there. I read an article by Howard Stern saying that he thinks that Johnny Depp is the narcissist. They're televising this and blah, blah, blah. I think he's wrong. First of all, Howard Stern does Howard Stern, saying things just to divert attention on him. He's good at that, so probably the podcast needed some more views. Who knows if he's getting it. But I think this is probably Johnny's way of getting back at her. It's like, okay, you want this to be public, you just want to spill the beans. Let's go. Let's show it everyone our weaknesses, our good and bad, And people get after also Johnny for his almost what it seems speech impediment. And again, I think, those are emotional moments. You have to resume all that you've been going through. Makes sense, you're on the road. I can assume that that's a lot of stress and a lot of pain. So that your speech might not be exactly as fluent and clear as other circumstances where you're relaxed and not on the road, and where you're not have to resummon all this past and pain. that you've been going through. So yeah, what a thing. You really see outside of this trial, you really realize these are just people dealing with their demons, with their problems. And celebrity status is also changing. The people watching celebrities are becoming more and more aware those are just other people going through shit. And we revere them and praise them and we enjoy their talents. But at the same time, they're just people going through their own troubles with advantages because of the money they make. Thanks to millions of people go watching movies and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, you really start to see this shift also in this perception of the stardom. I think the 90s, they will never come back anymore in that way. People nowadays prefer to relate to more like relatable characters. That's why I think sometimes just a girl on TikTok has 100 million subscribers. Not so much because she's doing anything special, but because probably it's more relatable, to also younger people. And of course, there's still like plenty of famous people today, but things are shifting. I really feel like things are shifting in that way. And this is, Will Smith slap, their issues in their wedding, marriage. Like seeing Johnny Depp like this, it really opens up that kind of, gives you an insight in that curated life of those stars, which usually only see them through the channels which they chose to be portrayed in, heavily curated, with heavily curated interviews and so on and so forth. Here you have like really like a cut open of their personalities, fears, worries as a human being with all that comes with it. So it's so funny because I see Johnny with all his addiction and stuff, and it definitely makes him, I see him much more as people have known with those type of issues. So I don't want to say makes him smaller, but definitely like that kind of iconic figure a little bit dissolves because like of course the cool factor, the talent and everything, it's all there, but at the same time you go like, oh wow, you're just another of these guys that I know. And I say this with sympathy. I don't say this with spite. Like I really see like, oh wow, you're dealing with that shit. It's gonna be hard. So anyway, guys, I don't want to do it too long. Let's do other videos. Let me know which one should we check. Always spread love. Take good care of yourself. Ciao.